missing that shot?
Yes, indeed. We did the game last year against the Wizards. It's the very same play. LeBron hit that shot to take it to overtime, and Cleveland won the game. Indiana's lucky he didn't make it there to win the game down the stretch.
But not tonight. The Pacers are 3-0 against the Cavaliers this season. Indy is now 17-5 when they make at least 10 threes. They were 10 of 21 from deep in this game. Cleveland 7 of 34 from deep. They have lost 8 of 9 on the road. They are now under 500 on the road at 11 and 12. And let's hear some sound after this one.
That was a good game, man. Man, we played so hard. We locked in on the clutch part of the game on the defensive end. Took our time, made the right play, and got the W.
Down 32-10 at the end of the first quarter. What was said? What was going on in those huddles?
Coach said a lot of turnovers and lack of energy. So the second half, we decided to come out harder, play defense, lock down defense, and try to make shots.
Coach drew up a great play. We got what we wanted, and it was a call made on the floor. It didn't go our way. A lot of energy in the third quarter. We had a lot of energy in the first half. Third quarter, we didn't exert as much as we did in the first half, and allowed them to get back into the game.
I thought we took ourselves out of it. I thought we still had a chance to run, but we really didn't. Like I said, it could be from a little tired or fatigue, but we didn't run through the game in that third quarter, start up 14, having a chance to put them away, and they made a good comeback. But, I thought, start the game, and guys really scrapped, really competed, played hard, and, they were able to come back and win the game.
All right, so let's check out some more digits here on the Cavs. 34 points in the first quarter on 59%. But the second quarter through the fourth quarter, the offense dipped. I don't know if it was fatigue or whatever, but only 61 points and under 38% shooting as the Cavaliers boot another one here and blowing that 22-point lead. It's the biggest blown lead since April of 2017. So let's diagnose this. I mean, we watch virtually every game the Cavaliers play because they're such a high-profile team. And Smitty, here we are about halfway through the season. They're 26-16, 10 games over 500. That is not a really inspiring record for these Cavs.
No, it's not. And I think the one thing I look at the Cleveland Cavaliers, Grant and Rick, great teams get stops when they want to. They go in spurts, their defense. It's almost like three-point shooting. They get hot, they go on a roll, 3 or 4 games, everything is clicking. But to me, a lot of those other guys, defense clicks when they're scoring. And I think when it's a bogged-down game, when it's an ugly game, a lot of those guys are not engaged defensively because a lot of those players you hear, they'll get a wide-open look, and you don't see teams that's been to the finals 3 times going, I had my man. And so for me, it's all on the defensive end right now. They're not locked in.
Smitty said it best. When they did win the championship a few years ago, that last sort of third of the season, I thought defensively they were as good as that group had ever been. Of course, it carried over into the postseason. But right now, yeah, they're with the exception of a 12-point first quarter by the Pacers, they pretty much had their way the rest of the game, getting, shots whenever they wanted. There's no fear. There's no fear when you play against Cleveland right now. You feel like you can execute and get whatever you want. And if they're not hitting shots on the flip side like they didn't the last 3 quarters, then you have a chance to win the game. I also think just the age factor. They're older now. They're an older group. The oldest team in the NBA have had a lot of battles together. And, January, as we both know, is always that sort of difficult time. And the dog days of January, you're just trying to get through that. So I wonder if some physical and mental fatigue is definitely entering into the picture here. But the Cavs are not good right now. They came out with a sense of urgency in the first half, and they kind of just gave it right back to Indiana. Credit the Pacers for playing well.
Rick, Grant, my question is, on the offensive end, I love Kevin Love because he spreads the floor and he gives room for everybody, but they have no rim protection. Like you said, kind of no fear. I mean, if you beat your guy, if you don't find LeBron chasing you down, is there a fear of anybody challenging at the rim? And that's the one part I look at. I know Tristan Thompson doesn't fit the way the new NBA is played, but at least he was there. And I don't know if they'll go back to Tristan starting at the 5, but I don't feel they have enough rim protection.
Smitty, I want you to talk to Grant's point from a moment ago. And I know ball players hate the O word, so I'm not going to use the O word, O-L-D. I'm going to replace it with vet. Are the Cavs too vet to get that defense cranked up at the end of the year?
I think this team, regular season, obviously a little bit boredom. They've been there. And like to Grant's point, they're older. But I think when you get into playoffs, you want to have older teams because you don't play every night. And I think for them is the mental fatigue is there. They're mentally old, too, because they've been there. They would love to fast forward right now to February. End of March. They would love to be right there. And then that's when you lock in to who you're playing. And I think veteran teams, if Grant saw me night in and night out as a veteran team, he's going to take away one option, second option. By game 5, he's going to have everything taken away. I think that's what they're looking forward to.
All right, so we mentioned that tweet by LeBron James, and he acknowledged that the officials made a good call on him stepping out of bounds. Definitely stepped out a tiny bit after seeing it over again, exclamation mark. Great call. You rarely hear players dap officials like that. That's a good look. And then he says, needed to be an OKC on that drive. LOL, live and you learn. So he's talking about the play where Giannis Antetokounmpo stepped out of bounds and got away with it as we flash back, tied at 95 apiece, and Giannis goes up for the jam, but he steps out of bounds, Grant.
It's kind of a backhanded compliment right there.
Really
like, the first part, But no, I love his sort of sense of humor and certainly acknowledging the play. And it also lets you know that he is a student of the game and he's watching. He's very much aware of what's happening. And a very similar play, same part of the court where Giannis caught it and had the matchup he wanted, had a smaller Collison, and just not only did he step out of bounds, he actually missed the layup, too.
He missed the layup, so we can't count it either. No.
So the NBA will find players if they, complain publicly about officiating and that kind of thing. They'll find coaches, GMs, whoever it is. Can they find LeBron James for complaining about a call in a different game, not even involving his team? Or is the statute of limitations lifted on that?
I thought it was very smart. He kind of gave a compliment, and then also he kind of a little backhand slap. I don't think they can really find him for that one. That was pretty good.
Yeah, and plus he put the LOL, so it's just kind of
joking.
Right? Yeah, kind of
soften it up a little bit, right?
Yeah, very strategic.
Kind of like the Cavs defense right now, right?
Oh,
don't be interested.
Like, are you guys sitting here right now still thinking the Cavs are going to be in the finals in June? The last few years, it has been a virtual lock that they were going to be in June playing, the Warriors or whoever it is. Do you have that feeling right now as we sit here about midway through January that, oh, yeah, the Cavs are going to be there in June? Are you there, Grant?
I still feel like the experience of in the playoffs will help them. I do think if history repeats itself, the last 2 years, as Smitty talked about earlier, they played better going into the postseason. Last year, we kind of weren't sure of this team and where they were, and then they hit their groove, particularly in the postseason. Things will change then. And so I think they will play better. But I'm a little bit like you. I'm not ready to, pencil them in as a lock to be in the finals. I want to see Isaiah Thomas. I want to see him back healthy. I want to see what that looks like on both sides of the basketball before I make that determination.
Before, I think a lot of us, I'm not putting words in anybody's mouth, we had a lock as them going to the finals. I just have a lock of them going to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay.
Now. That's just my lock right now. I don't have it all the way to the finals right now. Injuries, obviously, to Isaiah Thomas and Derrick Rose, those guys get healthy. But I'm looking at Tristan Thompson. How can he make an impact? And J.R. Smith. Those are the two guys I think they need to make an impact for them to get to that next level.
They were big for the Cavs when they won the championship a couple of years ago.
Well, they're coming off the bench or starting.
Right. And in terms of Indiana, great win, especially when you consider one of the premier shot blockers in the league, Miles Turner, not playing in this game due to injury. They moved to 22-20, and the Pacers are legit and relevant, and I know people there in downtown Indy are very happy about that. We're just getting started on Game Time presented by State Farm. We're coming back with highlights from Milwaukee. Kevin Durant with a fancy move right here, and he's doing things, and it was a comeback win for the Dubs. We'll show you how next on Game Time.